Okay, so moving on. We want to talk about pets a little bit.
Okay. I'll let you lead.
Okay, so where I live, not super specifically to where I live because our town's really rednecky. And like if we had a bylaw officer, they won't use words. They'll choose violence first. That doesn't
A bylaw officer wouldn't survive in your area.
No, they don't come around. There's like a big circle with an X through it.
Yeah.
Everyone's allowed to park and do whatever they want. But just walking your dog, and I think they want to do, if not already, cats, and then they want to just move down the line.
So
you have to have a license.
Yeah.
The license is $7. No, do you want to jump in first?
I'll jump in. The license thing is something that's practically in every developed area. So like, I'm not saying farmland isn't developed, but I mean like cities and villages all have licenses for pets.
Yeah. And it's relatively new. Like
It's
this isn't
relatively
in the last couple weeks. This has been like what, a year,
I've seen it 10 years ago in like major city,
but not where we are.
well, not where we are.
Yeah, so now
it's coming out here
closer to home.
Yeah.
And like technically, if they rolled through my town and I was doing it, like I would be part of that.
Yeah.
And then I would get in a fist fight.
Yeah.
But this is the fucking thing. So it's $7.
Yeah.
And the common response is it's only $7 if you get it at this time. It's $7.
Yeah.
You time that by 5 million people.
Yeah.
It's not just $7.
Yeah.
And for the last 2,000 fucking years, we didn't have to have a license for fucking dogs.
Yeah.
It's nuts. And the fine is $30. And then for kennels, it's like $300.
Yeah. It's fucking retarded.
It's a money grab.
Absolutely.
It's fucking nuts.
My entire opinion on the government being involved in the animals you have and that you raise is really annoying, and I'm really pissing me off, and I think it's an overreach. Like, I understand that there has to be some level of government when it comes to it, because there are people that will abuse animals, and there are people that will have animals that they really should fucking have.
Yeah.
Right? But, like, at a certain point, fuck off.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I'm not giving you $7 for my fucking dog.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Like,
and if you try and take $7, like you're just trading a human life for $7.
Yeah.
Because like there's no
Is it really worth it?
Is it really worth it? I know that guy will get back in his car and he'll leave me alone. He'll come back with the cops. But like, again, fuck you.
Yeah.
You don't need $7. Like, stop taking. And like, again, this is something like that's part of like whether it's the WEF or just your government institution. Like, where's all that money going? It's not going to help animals.
Yeah.
And again, like, think about that scale. 5 million times 7. Mm-hmm. That's a shitload of money.
Yeah, and that's just a guesstimate, right?
Yeah.
Like, the number's probably actually higher than that.
Yeah, because everybody loves their fucking pets.
Yeah.
And lots of people have fucking dogs.
Lots of people have dogs, lots of people have multiple pets, and there's way more than 5 million people in the country.
Yeah, but I was just, like, taking a portion, a relatively conservative portion of the population to justify those numbers. And it's nuts. But when people meet that with, it's only $7. And these people are generally struggling.
Yeah.
Right? Like, the people
That's why they're struggling.
And it's because it's like, it's only $7 for that, and it's only $3 for this, and it's only $9 for that, and that's only $20.
Yeah, congratulations. You're at like $50.
Every fucking month. And it's crazy. Well, some of those things are yearly, but it doesn't matter. Like, you're paying too much, and lots of the counter argument will be like, you have to live within your means, you have to do this, you have to do that. What about all the people that had fucking pets before this rule came into play?
Yeah. What about the fact that humans, in a general sense, have always had animals?
Yeah, and now I have to give you more money
and now,
on top of all of the other shit I have to pay for?
Now this authority figure comes out of nowhere and is like, hey, you know that thing you've had since your literal creation of existence?
Yeah.
Yeah, now you got to pay for it.
And $7? And where was that passed?
What kind of, like...
Where's the democracy there? No. Yeah. How about $1? You know what? I'll bend the knee for $1.
Yeah.
If it's going to a good cause, it's going to, like, help.
You know what? If it's going to, like, pay for, like, I don't know, like, free medical clinics for animals or, like...
For animals, yeah.
Like, the neutering stuff or whatever the fuck, you know, something related to the animals so that people don't have to pay out of pocket a retarded amount.
Yeah.
Then fine.
Yeah. You said you had some controversial ideas on
animals?
How you feel about animals.
Okay. I can go on for a lot about it because I do have controversial ideas of animals.
Yeah.
I need to prefix by saying I in a general sense, I prefer animals over humans. But outside of that, I value a human life over that of an animal. I think in today's society, especially in more inner city areas, pets, outside of very specific circumstances, are a luxury and a waste of money. I find that a lot of times the people who have pets are people who really shouldn't have pets because they can't afford them. I also think, okay, a good example, in almost every country that has a police force that uses dogs, it's considered like assault on an officer if you kick the dog when it attacks you or you kill it. It's like attacking an actual officer. I think that's bullshit. I think that's completely bullshit. I don't care. It's a dog. I get it. It's a police dog that's been trained or whatever. You shouldn't be facing the same consequences for killing a wild animal that's coming at you, that's being ordered to attack you by a police officer, and for you to like good knee-jerk reaction to shoot it. I don't think that you should be held accountable for
murder
that.
of a police officer.
Yeah, I don't think you're not, because you didn't kill a police officer. I don't care. You killed a dog that was a trained attack dog. That's what you did.
A war dog.
A war dog. You killed a war dog that came at you. Now you were committing crimes in the process of this. I get it. There should still be like a separate law essentially for like, okay, you didn't kill an officer, but you killed a police dog. That should have its own consequences.
That's set aside from the equivalent of
I also think that when police come in, whether it's police, ATF, whoever the fuck come in, and they fucking start killing people's dogs and their chihuahuas, I think that they should also face
consequences.
A consequence.
Yeah.
Do I think it should be on the same level as killing a human? No. But
if they want to keep the fucking police dog rule, yes.
100%. If they're gonna start putting in the fucking police, you kill a police dog or attack a police dog, then it's ruled as a human. Then when they fucking come in and kill your fucking chihuahua, that should be them killing a person.
100%. I would go fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
That brings me into
because people love their pets.
Yeah. And like, to speak to that other point about people not being able to afford them, and like I think those having programs in place to help
people pay for pets,
not like to weed out shitty fucking assholes from having pets. Like the pit bulls is a great example, right? Everyone thinks that pit bulls are these horrible fucking awful animals that are bred for killing, and they're not. They have a reputation so that a specific group of people buy them and then treat them like shit to make them. Their behavior is heavily influenced by
all dogs. Their behavior is heavily influenced.
But I mean, pit bulls, Rottweilers, Dobermans, they all have a specific group of people that flock to them.
Well, I'll counter this. I know what you're saying. But I'll counter what you're saying. Every single one of those dog species that you brought up were dogs that were way back in our history. Specifically bred for this purpose.
Yeah, but you can have a guard dog that isn't an asshole.
Absolutely.
But these people are getting them and they're not treating them like guard dogs or protect or have the information or took the steps to understand how to train a dog to be a protector.
Yeah.
Because you can train your dog to grab someone's arm and hold them in place.
Yeah, like the cops do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can do that. And there's nothing to say that you fucking can't. Like, you can go through the right process to have your dog be trained like that or to do the training.
Yeah.
But it's not that. It's people that are assholes throwing fireworks and putting their cigarettes out on them and beating them and starving them and putting them in dogfighting rings. Like, those people are fucking awful.
Yeah.
And shouldn't be allowed to have animals.
Yeah. Now, I feel like a lot of dog owners wouldn't like me, and I know you're not going to like this one, but I cannot sit here and be like, yeah, no, pit bulls and Rottweilers and that kind of stuff are not as violent as people say they are. No, genetically they are, right? Like, there's an aspect of the training. You can train that out of them, right? But if you, like a Chihuahua, for example, it is genetically made to hunt small rodents, right? That's what Chihuahuas were first bred to be. In South America, they were trained that way and bred that way so that they were good at hunting rats, rodents, and that kind of stuff. The same thing applies to things like pit bulls, Dobermans, German Shepherds, these dogs. They were bred and trained to be good at fighting. right? So there's still that aspect of them in them, even if they're just born now.
But I mean, if that's the staple for your argument, all dogs came from wolves.
Yes, all dogs came from wolves.
But
they're
dogs
domesticated.
And
They're
even,
domesticated. Yes, they
my
are.
dog's it's specifically a hunting dog.
You're right.
But it's like you said, like you can train those behaviors out so that it's a companion. It has some instincts.
Yeah, that's what I'm referring to is the instincts.
But I mean, like they're not. Again, like labeling. Yes, there's a lot of breeds that we've used for fighting and for protection. But a lot of those dogs, like I know some of the fucking kindest, gentlest pit bulls on the planet.
I'm sure you do.
And I know that there's some, even if you had great trainers, that are pieces of shit, right? It's just like people.
It's just like people,
People can grow up in a beautiful environment and still be a fucking crazy asshole.
I'm of the mindset. I'm not saying that we should kill all pit bulls. I think that's fucked up.
Yeah,
Right?
but
There are
that
people-
would be my point, is you can't say that, like, because there was so many pit bull attacks and everyone got fucking pumped up about it and said, no, we can't have pit bulls here anymore.
No. I'm not saying
That's
don't get rid
fucking-
of.
but
I'm
that's
not-
crazy.
That is crazy. I'm not saying get rid of pit bulls.
Yeah.
Right. I'm saying listen. There is genetic differences between these different types of dogs.
Yeah.
Right. Like I'm not gonna put a muzzle on a fucking Shih Tzu. Right.
Yeah, but if it's a piece of shit, you will.
I'd probably kill it. It's a Shih Tzu.
No.
sorry. Yeah. I don't kill dogs. But
Well, and I think there's a lot of that mentality goes with the farming community too. And it's not that they don't love their dogs, but their animals are seen in a different way.
yes, animals are very much seen in a different way,
Yeah.
and I'm willing to say that farmers care for and love their animals
100%.
way more than the average person in a general sense, right?
Yeah.
Like,
It's just the way that love is shown is very different.
yes, it is. You know, like a family will have like pet dogs or pet cats or whatever, and it's a member of the family, right?
Yeah.
Compared to farmers who will have cats. Well, they have cats, they have dogs, but they also have things like cows, pigs, chickens, goats,
Yeah.
whatever, right? But those animals, unless it's a very specific situation, they are at the end of the road, they are food in
Yeah.
one form or another.
Except for the dogs.
Except for the dogs.
Unless you live in a different part of the world.
Looking at you, China.
Yeah.
But you know, and even then, the dog on a farm serves a very different purpose than
Well,
a dog.
the dog on the farm generally has a job.
Yeah, it's an animal that has a job, and it knows its job for the most part.
Yeah.
Because normally farmers will get a dog that is made for that purpose, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna see a farmer get, I don't know, like in this case here with my mom, she has a herding dog. I forget what the fuck it's called.
Scary giant monster.
It's scary giant white dog, right?
Yeah.
And its purpose for its entire species of existence was to defend herds of sheep and goats,
Yeah.
right? And that dog naturally will do that no matter what. That's what it was made for. But my mom's not going to go and get a fucking pit bull to defend the goats and shit.
Yeah.
Because chances are that pit bull will one day just fucking kill one of them. Because that's just what's going to happen. Unless my mom puts extensive training into it.
Yeah. But and again, like that's going back to the idea that all these dogs have remained in that same kind of onset of genetically being trained generation after generation to fill this role, do this thing. And if you went back 60 years, that was probably the case, or longer, that was probably the case. Mm-hmm. But there's been so many generations, and most of them aren't being trained to be fighting dogs. There's a lot that are being trained to be guard dogs, but again, there's a huge difference between being an aggressive prick and don't touch this kid or don't touch my mom.
You're right, there is. But the thing is that I always find this too. I'm not saying that you're doing this, but I'm just gonna. I always find that people put way too much aspect onto the intelligence or the humanization of these pets.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is because I feel like they see their pet as almost as on the same level as them, which they're not. As much as people want them to be, they're not. Does the animal have compassion? Does the animal have intelligence? Does it understand Yes,
Yeah.
but it's not like a human. It's not. As much as people want it to be, it's not like a human.
Yeah.
And it almost goes back to like the whole like thing we were talking about earlier of like people being passive. It's like, if with your animal, if you don't act like its master, it will control you.
I prefer the term dog dad.
Dog dad.
Softer.
Whatever, dog dad. But you're still they're not like that, right? A dog cannot understand the fundamentals of a relationship between a man and a woman, or like people like the relationship between a man and a woman, or like business partners, or like, you know, any of those type of things, right? They don't understand the concepts of a firefighter and a police officer, or they don't understand that that shit. They don't.
Yeah.
And they will never be able to. But people push this onto these animals, and they make these false assumptions in their minds about, oh yeah, my cat knows when this is happening and when that's happening. It's like, no, it doesn't.
I think, like, again, like, for context, I think in certain situations I think you're grossly underestimating the intelligence of an animal. Because, like...
Am I, though?
I think so, to a degree. I'm not saying that these are little Stephen Hawkings in furry bodies that can't communicate because they're a different species. But I think that there are certain... Animals are intelligent, right?
I never said they weren't intelligent.
No, but I think that intelligence would give them that ability to move in certain situations. I'm not disagreeing with some of us have created a fantasy that exists for our pets that isn't the reality of a situation. But I think that on the other side of that coin, it's not a fantasy. It is the reality of that pet and your relationship that can do things. Like, I've had dogs that are awesome problem solvers, and you can see them, like, they're not E equals MC squared on a chalkboard, but you can see them understanding things. You can see,
absolutely.
And you can have that connection with an animal where it knows, like, if you're having a bad day or if you're angry or stressed out.
Well, that just goes back down to the whole science of animals are more attuned to people's emotions.
Yeah. And I think, like, you know, if we think about how we've evolved over a certain amount of time and our ability and our level of intelligence, I think that same understanding would apply to how animals are developing. They're not stuck in time, right? Obviously, my dog's a freak of nature.
No.
But, like, they would evolve and progress with us. And, like...
They have.
And that relationship, especially if you are maybe more in tune with your animal or spending more time with your animal, can have a greater level of dog perception or cat perception than someone that, you know...
Yeah. And I'm not disagreeing with you, because that's just goes back down to the bonding of someone with, like, you know, in ancient times, it was certain people bonded with certain animals. You know, it wasn't not like everyone had a dog or whatever, right? Yeah. But there was like one dude that was a dog tamer and trainer, and that's what he did, right? And they had multiple dogs, and that's what they did. And it goes back down to that kind of thing where it's like, if you spend an unbelievable amount of time with your dog or multiple dogs, same species, you'll get to know that species and how they behave, and on top of that, you'll get to know how your dog behaves, and you'll be able to learn.
This is a great segue into psychology, because like, I agree with a lot of the points you're saying. I agree with all of the points, but I think that there's, like everything else, a spectrum. But there was a lady, and I was reading the story, and these were her dogs, or she knew the dogs, and she was dog sitting. And she went out to feed them all. And they were different breeds, but it wasn't like a pit bull and a Doberman and a fucking. But there was enough dogs that they formed a pack. And whatever this lady was doing set them off, and they fucking mauled the shit out of this poor woman. And like, she loves these fucking dogs.
I feel like I remember hearing this story.
And they fucked her up. And these were like, I think one was like a fucking some kind of retriever mix, and then the other one was like a little yippy fucking silly dog. And then there was like another medium-sized dog. And like, again, these are like domesticated pets. Like, they're still wild animals. Like, it's still an animal.
It's still an animal.
But again, that goes back to like animals are an interesting thing because of this dynamic and relationship that we've just cultivated with them over the years. But like that's like a one-off situation. It's super rare for stuff like that to happen. I never have to worry about, like, I just don't. I never have to worry about that with my fucking dog.
Well, no, but that's again also with the type of breed species that you have as a dog. you
Like
know,
he's a
they're
stubborn prick, but like he's
real low to the ground. You know?
yeah. Well, and like even that, like, you know, is that supporting? Like my dog has dwarfism. Like that's what they bred into the dogs to keep them to look that way.
Yeah.
You know, so like I've had that internal conversation and that idea pop into my brain. Like, are you just promoting like this science experiment?
Are you not?
I am. In fact, I am.
Yeah.
But like, I'd rather have him than someone else.
Yeah.
And he's amazing.
This has been 3 Dead Babies. We hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. We know we did, and that's all that matters.
Don't forget to leave comments, like the video, and please subscribe. It helps us an amazing amount.
Yeah.
Again, I'm Vampire Jesus. This
I'm
is
your
co-host.
fabulous co-host, and we would love to keep, you know, talking shit about everybody's problems. So in that comment section, light it up with whatever's fucking burning your ass, pissing you off, making you crazy, and we'd love to dig into it and have a conversation about it. Until next time, we'll see you later.